So, first question I would have to ask is for everyone, what's your most memorable moment that happened at VidSummit 2025? And I'll go first because one of the some feedback from my last video last year, y'all actually wanted me to answer the questions with the panel as opposed to answering all the questions first and then bringing the panel up. So I'm answering the questions with the panel this time. My most memorable moment, he actually might appear on the stream later, but my most memorable moment is when I met another Elijah. And not only that's not that rare to meet someone with the same name as me. What's a little rare, but not only was he a content creator like me, he actually also was vegan. So like, what are the chances of something like that happening? In fact, I'm gonna pull up the footage of us meeting later. So VidSummit just ended overall. I've encountered something that I've never encountered before, and I've met hundreds of people. Y'all know I'm the king of networking, and I've met another Elijah. Not only is he named Elijah, but he is also vegan too.
Hello.
Did y'all hear me? I've never encountered that like ever. I bumped into other vegans. I bumped into other Elijahs, but not another vegan Elijah. So
shout out to Salad.
I'm no longer one of a kind. But I'm gonna tag him on Instagram. Be sure to check his stuff out. And what's the name of the documentary you mentioned?
You can find me on YouTube at Elijah Lamar, ElijahLemard.
Hey, there you go. Check him out, and he's linked on the screen right now. I'll catch y'all later. Yeah, so I don't think that memorable moment is ever going to be topped, to be honest. That's almost literally kind of like bump. I have a fade now, but I used to actually have locks. If I still had locks, we might as well at that point have been twins. Shout out for Gregory because he's actually the one that introduced us because he found out that two Elijahs were in the same proximity. Let me make sure they connect. How about we go to Joe and ask him that question? What was your most memorable moment this time, Joe?
The most memorable moment, that would be on the second day we had kind of a Nick Niminati dinner. So it was Nick, all his Niminati people that are basically his channel members. And obviously I was there with them. Nate Black was there with us. A couple of guys who used to run TubeBuddy were there with us. And it was about 20 of us. And we were all just hanging out together, sharing YouTube stories and stuff. It was freaking fantastic, seeing as how Nate and Nick are two of my favorite people. I mean, if Roberto had been sitting there next to us, it would have been like, this is worth the hotel room, the tickets, the whatever, all combined together. It was fantastic. We sat there for a couple of hours. It was great.
Okay. Wait, hold on, wait. I think I might have saw y'all. Like y'all, we all like in a group like outside of the hotel, but like right outside.
Well, we were over at God, which restaurant is that? The restaurant. Remember we went over to the restaurant and we were making fun of you about your vegan hamburger.
Y'all were y'all were
same.
attempting to make fun of me. Y'all failed, but yeah.
Oh no, we were succeeding.
No.
We were there. Just
okay, at
just
the bar
on the other side there. Yeah, we had a big table set up right next to that.
Okay. Because I remember on day 2 of the same day I interviewed Nick Nimmons, we all were huddled like in that corner of the West End. But there was a window, and when I looked outside, there was another group gathering right outside. I remember you had taken a seat, and you were talking to them because I could see out the window. So I thought you were talking about that at first.
Oh no, yeah, I spent all that time just finding smaller creators and trying to answer questions for them and just kind of help people that are struggling. Because for me, that's really what VidSummit is. It's to bring people up, not to flex on other people. No, yeah. VidCon is kind of like that. VidSummit is it's a different animal. It's a really big deal. Mm-hmm. Gotta go.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So Bronco, how about you? What was your most memorable moment in this VidSummit?
I would say it happened on the Tuesday, the first day that I showed up, when I started joining the meetups. Mainly because it VidSummit this was my first VidSummit. So it turned out that I realized that it was what I was hoping for, which was a great way to connect with other people who understood what you go through as a creator. And I think the most memorable moment was when I realized, oh my gosh, I have so much to offer to help people. And that was extremely satisfying because I've sort of been in a bubble for like 5-6 years with a pool of creators. It's all been word of mouth. So it's just, I've never advertised or anything like that. So it was just a small circle of people and it kind of branched out, but I was really just insulated. And I didn't realize how much knowledge I had gained from working with some of these people. I mean, some of the people I work with are, you know, were more experienced when I started, and I learned a lot, and I didn't realize how much I learned. And it was so much fun meeting with people and asking them questions and seeing if there were solutions that I could help them with. And honestly, I had such a blast. So it's like I'm singling out the Tuesday because the Tuesday was when I realized that was the case. But I had so much fun throughout the whole event. So it's like I really can't pinpoint one specific spot. But yeah, I had a fantastic time. I wish it was twice a year, honestly. So if that says something.
Yeah, that might be something they could look at, like maybe doing it semi-annually instead of on an annual basis. It sounds like, in a sense, you have your own business, Bronco. I think this is a teachable moment for the side hustle society. For those y'all that have been following me and y'all are part of the Self-Made Business Academy, y'all know I'm talking about the marketing magnifier. And conferences and summits, they're a great source of offline outbound leads. And I think they're highly underestimated if you're a sociable person. A lot of people go immediately to how do I generate leads online, and that has its value. But if you have the right skills, hit up these conferences and these summits, and it will pay off. It will. Plus, what you pay, not tax advice, entertainment purposes only, but it is tax deductible. Consult with your enrolled agent officially, but I'm just saying. Matthew, what was your most memorable moment for VidSummit 2025?
It would probably be similar to Bronco because I remember like the first day they had that like welcome party, right? And I was like, I don't know. I saw something about the Hoover app. I didn't even know how to get into it. And then like I think it might have been like the second full day or whatever. I like asked them for access. They gave me the code. I got in. I'm like, whoa, there's groups. You can go to the groups. I'm like, oh shoot, there's a DFW group. There's a finance group. There's all this stuff. And it was nice. Like it was nice to be able to find exactly what I'm looking for. It's like you're in a sea of, first off, creators, and so you're at home. But then it's also like, finance is slim. And it's like, oh, everyone I'm talking to is flying from all over the world. Where are the people that are right here? And then it's like, because of these groups, it's like I find y'all, and it's like, cool, like this is awesome, this is amazing. So these groups were good for like putting me in contact with brands. It was good for like making connections, and it's just really cool. And then another crazy moment is just like a lot of people that I just consume, and like people I was like literally watching that morning before VidSummit. I'm like, whoa, I was just watching your video, and it's like, oh, I get to talk to them. So it's hard to pick a moment, but it's just like it was all just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But I say it come from the whole Hoover app and the meetups and stuff.
So I would say that when you're here, prioritize the opportunities for community, not just for the speaker conference sessions, because you'll be able to get the knowledge in the replays, and you can't be at every talk all at once. Multiple talks happen all at once. So I would say prioritize maybe 3 to 5 talks besides maybe the opening or main stage keynote. Prioritize 3 to 5 talks that absolutely are meaningful to you right now where you might want to try to get in line for a question or speak to the speaker afterward. And beyond that, try to prioritize the rest of your time being around fellow creators and just meeting strangers, talking to people, going to individual creator meetups that might be for selective groups. There was a group yesterday meetup for Christian content creators. There was a meetup group for vloggers. There was a meetup group that was for short form creators. Like, so you could find little pockets of events within events at the conference. And if you sit there and you try to obsess over going to every single talk and filling up that schedule, you'll miss those moments of serendipity and genuine community value.
Nicely put. I didn't know the Hoover app, that's what he's talking about. It's an app that you can really use to take advantage of the events.
Yeah.
It was a thing the first time I came, so you're already ahead of the game compared to me. So really utilize that app, see what events are going on, and you can really expand your network when it comes to the creator economy.
You can also ask questions for the speakers about their sessions in the app. And if they're like me, after their talk is when they'll usually try to get to all of those questions. And they might remind you, like I told people, hey, if you have questions and you don't get to me after I get off stage, put them in the app. I will go back this week through the conference or after the conference and make sure I hit back every single one of them because that's important to me. So that's something that you could also do to take advantage of the app.
So D'Lo, what's your most memorable moment from VidSummit 2025?
I would say my most memorable moment was at the welcome party. So I believe you were there. It was when I hopped on the mechanical bull. Like, I've always wanted to hop on a bull, and I had the opportunity. So the first time I actually went on it, I had the longest time, which is really crazy to me, just being like on the bull. And I actually met the guy that the owner of the company, and he was a really cool person. I forgot his name, but shout out to him for allowing me to have that experience. So if I wasn't at VidSummit, I probably would never have like went out of my way to do that. So VidSummit gave me the opportunity, and the amount of people I networked with was really nice.
I do remember that bull. I remember quite a few people falling off, but I'm not one to talk because I didn't get on it. I was too busy. Well, honestly, I never actually thought about getting on. I was networking heavy at the welcome party. But I think I'm living with some regret now. I probably should have got on and fell off and bust my ass like everyone else.
Man,
But
it's
that
a
would have been a
learning
memory.
experience.
Right. But Rebecca, how about you? What's your most memorable moment for VidSummit 2025?
Yeah, so I mean, first of all, you want to get on a mechanical bull. I mean, we're in the Dallas area. We can go to find a mechanical bull anywhere. And D'Lo, you know, you ever want to come back, we'll take you to a mechanical bull. We have them everywhere here. So my most memorable moment at VidSummit 2025, I would have to say it's when I stumped a speaker at first with one of my questions. So I went to a talk with these three guys who were thumbnail artists, and they were starting their own little like thumbnail program called the Thumbnail Academy. And I wanted to ask one of them about my thumbnails. So after the talk, they were all out in the hallway, and I went to talk to one of them. And one of their presentation was about the best strategy to make a thumbnail. And a lot of it was like, oh, you know, you want to pick the most interesting moment in the video, create a thumbnail, you know, come up with ideas about the most interesting parts of the video, come up with like different thumbnail concepts, like design a few different thumbnails, things like that. But I don't really do videos. I do live streams. And when you do live streams on YouTube, you have to have a thumbnail for every single live stream. But the thing is, like, how am I supposed to make a thumbnail when I don't even know what's going to happen in that live stream? And then on top of that, I live stream like 3 or 4 times a week. And when it comes to videos, people are posting those a lot less than live streams. So I think thumbnail strategy is like, it's a little bit different when it comes to live streams and videos. So I went and asked one of the thumbnail artists, like, hey, I do live streams. It's 3 or 4 times a week, might be the same game every time, 3 or 4 times a week for like 3 months. And then I don't even know what's going to happen in that live stream. So I can't design a thumbnail around what's happening in the video. So how do I handle that? And he was just like stumped for a second. He was like, he's like, I don't know. Like live streams are very tricky. And so he had to like think about it for a moment before he, came up with an answer. But he gave me some really good advice.
So he looked at you like that deer in the headlights kind of looked like it took a sec to like in comedy skits to have like that loading symbol on the
Yeah.
person's head. It's kind of like that happened.
Yeah, he was just like, he was like, live streams are really tricky. He was like, I don't know. He was like, you know what? Just show me your channel. I'll come up with some ideas.
So since you asked I'll say above average question, because for you to stump someone there, it has to be a pretty above average question. He had to give you a customized approach. Well, let me just pull up your channel. Let's take a look at it. So because you asked that type of question, you got a more intentional answer that's more directly suited directly to you. Nice.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I just think it's, when it comes to YouTube stuff, everything's so video focused that people are not really thinking about live streams very much. So when I'm like, oh, I do live streams and I need thumbnail ideas for live streams, he's like, live streams?
Okay, let me break down some terminology, because for people who are newer to YouTube, they might be confused. Like, what's she talking about? Video? Like, isn't that a video? So, like, in YouTube, like lingo, you have shorts. Everyone kind of knows what YouTube Shorts is nowadays. It's short form content. You have videos, which that's pretty much anything that's not a live stream that's longer than like 3 minutes and it's in horizontal format nowadays. It's kind of called videos, but you could also call them long form videos. Then you have live streams, which is what we're doing here is an example of a live stream. So if you're wondering what she means by like, what do you mean? Like, what's the difference? That's essentially the difference. And each one of them requires different strategies. That's why that question probably stumped him, because he's so focused on videos instead of like live streams, since that requires a different strategy.
Yeah. And then on top of that, live streams do turn into videos.
Nicely put. So oftentimes, like once you know what the thumbnail, once you know what your live stream was about, then you can make a thumbnail based on the information that was covered in the live stream or some viral moment or something. But you don't have that information like before you start streaming. So you could always change it later. What do you do initially? And that seems like you got some benefit when you ask that question. Am I right?
Yep, definitely.
Okay.
What's up, y'all? Hopefully y'all enjoying the content that y'all are watching right now. That content being YouTube or content creator related. With that being the case, I would be remiss if I didn't share the following with you. Many people wonder exactly how was it that I was able to establish 4 different YouTube channels, 2 of those channels being in the YouTube Partner Program, and one of them being a podcast channel that has different ways of making money. Now, I was able to do this in a large part because I'm a part of Awesome Creator Academy. Awesome Creator Academy is an academy focused on creative entrepreneurs that's run and founded by Roberto Blake. Now, they're not a sponsor of this video, but I am an affiliate of theirs, and I've known Roberto Blake for a few years now. When I first joined his Awesome Creator Academy back in 2019, I only had one channel, and that channel was known as the App Lifestyle at the time. Since then, I've renamed that channel to the Side Hustler Society. I started another channel called Financial Anatomy that's much bigger than the Side Hustler Society. The Side Hustler Society now has its own podcast that significantly expanded my network and brought y'all value. And it even helped me start a YouTube channel based around a local meetup group that I have called The Veggie Outers, where we go to vegan restaurants and review them on a scale of 1 to 10. Being a part of Awesome Creator Academy helped me launch all this, and it significantly boosted the money I was able to make, not just from YouTube, but just from online businesses in general. I then took that money and then branched off into real estate locally, which allowed me to start making money with Airbnb and through real estate. All that has its foundations in me being a content creator, and that was significantly expanded because I'm part of Awesome Creator Academy. If you're serious about being a content creator and you want to maximize the most amount of money you can make with this new business of yours, I highly recommend that you check out Awesome Creator Academy. The link is going to be in the description and also the pinned comment. In the Academy, there are hundreds of hours worth of training in regards to pretty much anything that you'll need to know when it comes to the creator economy. Roberto also hosts live office hours twice a week to answer any kind of questions that you may have. So if you're serious about taking your content creation career to the next level, sign up for Awesome Creator Academy today. Roberto's been generous enough to give my community a 15% discount on your first purchase. So take advantage of that and sign up for Awesome Creator Academy today. With that being said, let's get back to the video.
So, Gregory, what's your most memorable moment in 2025?
It's an excellent question. So I'm like, I don't remember who said it. Like, it's hard to, I think it was Matthew. It's hard to really pinpoint one moment. If you're the networking king, I'm like the networking president or something. But I just networked with so many people, and I was a volunteer as well, along with a couple other people on this call, and it was a different experience. They had me at the front door registering people. I think there's multiple memorable moments. One was Tom Billieu walking up to the door. He was just coming in for just a second. I asked him if he'd get on my podcast, and he's like, "Sure, man, hit me up on X." And I was like, "Whoa, that was easy." So that was really cool. And then day 3, it was pulling out my gimbal and deciding to finally use all of this equipment I've spent thousands of dollars on, and pulling out my gimbal and interviewing people, and just the different niches that people do YouTube in. I think a lot of people are afraid to become content creators because they think that they have to do a certain type of content, not realizing that there's people that do content about motor oil, driving crappy cars. There's finance, there's different niches of finance, there's people that are doing bridal sewing. Like, there's pretty much anything you can think of on YouTube. If there's a market that needs a solution for it, you can become the solution. And I learned a few different strategies from a few different people, and I like to combine things. So one strategy was, if you watch a video on something that you want to solve and it's not that great of a video, instead of complaining about it, could you do that video 10% better? And I got that from Adam. His YouTube channel is Random Fix, and he just looks at videos of people that are doing DIY content, and he does the videos 10% better, because a lot of DIY content is not very put together, and so he just makes it better, and that's how he succeeds. But he also told me about affiliate marketing, and I wanted to say that for Rebecca. Like, if you're going to do a live stream, think of some products that you have affiliates with, think of some things that you have to sell, and base that live stream around a problem that people have, and then offer that as a solution on that live stream. But I don't remember the name of that app that was there last year. It was something that helped you to create thumbnails with AI, and I can't remember the app. I haven't used it or anything since, and I didn't see them there this year. But one of the things they taught is that when you're making videos, you start with a thumbnail idea and you write your script from there, because then your thumbnail can actually be more tied to what that video is going to be about, because everything is based around that thumbnail. So I like to get strategies from all different types of people, and finally turning on the camera and seeing that no one was going to tell me no to an interview, because we're all content creators, and when a camera's out, we love it. That was the most memorable, is just record, start gathering content.
Gotcha. So, yeah, I do remember, like, in day 3, you were really, every time I walked by, essentially you were interviewing someone. Like, because we passed each other several times throughout the summit, and on day 3, you were always interviewing someone. I remember I took note of that. Like, well, he's really going heavy into these interviews this year. Yeah. So, Asia, what was your most memorable moment in 2025 VidSummit?
Sorry, technical difficulties. So most memorable moments. I guess, I mean, there was a lot of them, but there was a specific person I talked to. His name was Aaron Chisholm, and I just started talking to him naturally, where I was just sitting down. I needed like a break because I felt very overstimulated from just everything that was going on. And so I met him, we were talking, and then later on we just kept talking more about like essentially what I was trying to figure out in terms of rebranding, because I feel like that's what I was being led to. And he really just told me like it's not niching your content. Focus more on the niche of your audience. When you continue to break down your audience more and more and more, then you're able to figure out what content you want to do that applies to that customer. So, for example, my customer, I really want to specifically hone to Black women, specifically, women who want to, be more natural in terms of their hair, or maybe like when it comes to health benefits and stuff like that, or like fashion, beauty. So he was like, okay, so what does that look like as an audience? Okay, so now you want a Black woman. Okay, a Black woman, mostly a Black woman audience. Okay, so now what would you say? So he essentially was creating a persona. And so, like, even as a UX designer, we do create certain types of personas when it comes to storyboarding. When it comes to, like, the workflow that we're creating. So he really helped me to figure out what my persona was. And then it was like, okay, now it's like it's very simple. Now what exactly content would apply to that person? Um and there was a couple of things. So and he was like, stick to one and continue and pursue that. And then you could slowly bring in other types of like format into your videos, etc. So I thought that was like pretty profound. Like it's stuck to me ever since. And so that's really helped me when it comes to rebranding my videos and like my social media platforms and stuff like that. So that was probably the most memorable thing for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, that's definitely good advice because it really puts some focus. Like a lot of times as content creators, I do feel like since we can kind of make whatever we want,
Mhm.
we can become unfocused.
Mhm.
And sometimes it takes talking to some other people to refocus us into the right direction. And I think that's one of the things that VidSummit has a value in. It can really provide that balance because essentially we're in charge of making our own money. We're in charge of what we put out there. And if you don't have any structure or focus, it can easily become all over the place and too convoluted.
Yeah, and I'll also, oh, it's okay to add. I'll like I'll also add in like we're human. Like we were created to create. That in any type of structure we were created to create. So we all have these like different ideas in our head and stuff, and sometimes it's good to just have like a narrow viewpoint at times so you can bring other types of information in. And yeah, just meeting different people at VidSummit, like just little things like having those natural conversations, genuine conversations with people, and finding out who these people are, like not chasing the followers, not chasing the what it looks like, but having genuine natural conversations. It really helps. And you come to find out like, oh, this person's doing this, oh, this person has this team, and you know it's yeah. So just wanted to add that. But yeah.
And Joe says that your hair game is strong. You can see his imprint.
Thank you. You know what? Thank you. That was one of the things that people kept saying. So as part of my rebranding strategy, I think I'm gonna focus more on. I'm trying to choose between hair or health and wellness. I think I can try two and see what it goes for. But thank you. Appreciate it.